for example, you go to China, you see all of these crazy, crazy technologies, or America, you see this crazy technology, or some really, let's take airplane for example, or let's take AI even now, right now, for example. I read in the paper that there was a man in Nigeria who had an idea of a robot assistant,
Hmm.
and they took him to psychiatric hospital. When was that? It's in the paper. I read it in the
Like
paper.
when
It was a
did that
long
happen?
time. I think it was, I don't know, Yakubu Gowon or something, like, was president then or something. That was like a long time ago. They took him to psychiatric hospital.
Hmm.
And we've also read similar stories in the West, like somebody that thought like that was going to be telephone. They also thought he was smart. Or people that said there will be cars, and they thought, no, we are fine with horses. So ultimately, there is like an imaginative power within every man that we need to exhibit and allow it to take freedom. And don't allow anybody to to beat it down, so to say. So ultimately, if you are unable to, like the man, for example, now probably didn't have to go to anywhere. He already he saw that there could be a robotic assistant. Nobody believed. Years down the line, we have it. Or you watch all these movies, the things that we were putting in the movies then, with teleportation, hologram, AI, even in movies. Terminator. That was the movie like that. Just imagine that kind of imagination then, when we didn't even have it. So ultimately, the biggest exposure is your own imagination. There is like ability to dream, and dream really, really crazy dreams. And everybody has that.
Yes.
Everybody has that.
Yes.
So the ultimate exposure really is our innate imaginative ability.
Okay, so are you saying that people should not jackpot from Nigeria?
I think when people leave Nigeria mainly, like especially my friends that I know, they leave probably because of things that are really beyond their control. For example, no amount of talking, carrying placard and everything can really get these leaders to just do the right thing.
Or
So,
insecurity
or
here and there.
so you have not solving insecurity. In healthcare system, you are not solving it. So you have transportation challenges, you are not solving it. Electricity, you have not really solved it. Water, you have not really solved this even in this time and age. So you even think like, even if you are making your money and you try to fix all of these things yourself, what about insecurity? What about health? You know, some of those things are things that are just beyond the control of one person. And that's why I see that most Nigerians live, in my opinion, that I see most Nigerians live, particularly for insecurity reasons and for health reasons. That, you know what, I would rather go to a country where I know that I can pay 50% of my taxes. I know that these people, they are responsible enough to put things in place that will take care of me when I'm old. That's why people live. Because in the reasons of it, you can even join politics and you see a lot of really intelligent people join politics. So it's almost as though when they join that politics, we don't even like they have, you see the likes of Osheba and who is a son, and you're like, this guy is learned. Like when he talks, you want to listen. And you didn't really see the product of that administration like that, how it bettered Nigeria. You didn't see it. So when people leave, individuals mainly leave because of things that they cannot really control. But I can put it to you that Nigerians, if they fix insecurity in Nigeria and health issues, a lot of Nigerians will go back.
Yes, a lot of people will go back.
That doesn't mean that we will not travel just for vacation to see stuff, but it will not be at like a lot of people right now they live for survival. That's why I cannot really blame them. The people I would say they should need to look inward when they leave are people that think that they cannot succeed in Nigeria, that Nigeria market is bad, Nigeria, you cannot do business in Nigeria. Those ones are the ones, because the same problem you're going to face is when you go. First of all, you're going to face a problem of language. Like you go to Europe, in a European country, you have to learn the language in order to even do business properly and stuff.
Yeah, and apart from those, there's even a bigger problem. No one people are really not talking about, which is identity crisis.
Mm. Yes. Yes.
Because of Jackpa,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's a huge identity crisis.
Yes.
You are A on the inside and B or Z on the outside. So, do you want to talk about this?
I mean, it just shows to you that, like we said earlier, that there is really no place without its own challenges. So you're going to face new challenges like with new adventures. So If the idea is to actually have a stress-free life, then obviously Japa is not going to solve that for you. You're still going to have to reinvent yourself, work on yourself, and do well for yourself financially. Try to make friends. If not, you're going to be depressed or lonely even. So it's just to show that the West does not really give you anything like that. Like you have to still have to work for it. So why not just try to also work for it wherever you are coming from? At least if you're going to leave, you're going to live with like more assurance, more certainty that this is the reason why you are living, right? Not for this other reason. Because you can really be anything that you want wherever you are. I would say that. But speaking to identity
Crisis.
crisis, can you give me like an example? A mop, you say A on the outside, B on the inside. We can
I
simplify.
actually didn't want to use the colors, to be honest, I would have said. But, when people pull their families or pull themselves out of Africa
Mhm.
and come to this place, in the process, I would say that these problems is, I really don't have any data to back up, or, yeah, any data to back this up. But I would say that it's most common with Nigerians. I wouldn't say the Asians are like that. But in the process of pulling yourself out of Nigeria to this part of the world,
Mhm.
a lot of people, they lost culture.
Mhm.
The language is lost.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think I understand what you're trying to say, but I guess it's their choice. I hope they don't live to regret it.
I hope we also don't fall into that category. Let's not say, because we're already on that path.
True though.
You are Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
You speak Yoruba language
Yes.
well. You understand Yoruba culture, like the culture.
Yes.
But are you promising us that your daughter, do you think your daughter is Nigerian? That's number one question.
By bet, by the fact that by the virtue of her being my child, yes. But by way of life, ultimately no, she's not.
Now,
No, currently she's not.
now, in the future, when she's old, do you think she can identify with Nigerians? If she doesn't go back home, if you don't constantly take her home to like be a part, be integrated into Nigeria, do you think she can identify with Nigerians?
To be honest, that part,
That's the identity crisis I'm talking about.
that I wouldn't call that a crisis personally.
Okay.
Like why I wouldn't call it a crisis is if I don't go to Nigeria, Estonia will be what she will know and what she will ever know. The whatever problem she faces will not be a problem. It will be the problem of the people. Maybe Estonia is not willing to accept her as part of their own. That will be their problem in their own way of life, in their own myopic way which they are viewing life, right? I don't think they're myopic. I'm just saying like
Yeah,
whoever will not
if
accept,
just in case it
just in
happens.
case that happens, because the reality is that if I don't go to Nigeria, which can happen, it can happen to anybody, and I wouldn't. It's not like I would not go to Nigeria because I hate Nigeria, but it can just happen. It's been 7 years now or 8 years. No, 7. And I've not really gone, like, I think I've only gone twice. I don't think I spent like 2 months in the 2 times I've gone. So probably it's going to be like that for her. So
So just okay.
most of our friends will probably be here. She'll probably speak Estonian. Even if she doesn't have the Estonian passport, even if she has Nigerian passport right now, that does not really mean anything in the grand scheme of things because what she knows is that, and as a matter of fact, I don't think any country, that's just on the side, right, should discriminate against the baby. Like all this idea of not giving a baby passport, I think it's a silly idea, you
Mhm.
know, because you cannot, a baby, if she doesn't go anywhere, all she will know is that country. So not giving a baby passport saying that, I don't think it makes sense.
I still think there's a problem. Like there's identity crisis problem.
Personally, this area that you are going, you can be a Nigerian in Nigeria and not feel, you can be, let me put it this way, you can be born into a family and be an outcast in that family.
But
You may never feel at home even in your family. It's a possibility. It has happened to a lot of people. So your place in the world, I don't want to, we are Nigerians, but at the same time we are citizens of the world in that sense. Let me just put it like that. Like I think I get where you're coming from. Like you see Indians, they have like this wonderful India community that they're trying to build, even when they go to the West. Chinese people, almost the same thing.
They almost don't lose their
They
culture.
almost don't even speak any other language, even when they travel. Right?
Mhm.
They still try to speak their language and stuff like that. It's good. I mean, it's good. But it's not going to matter if they are still not going to go back to China or to to wherever they actually came from, right?
So let me ask you
Yeah.
straight.
I will try my best,
Okay.
if you ask me, to teach my daughter Yoruba. In fact, I've started. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy, but I would definitely put in the work, just because you never know. But it's not going to be because of anything, like maybe because she shouldn't see herself like being an European or being, wherever in my own opinion, whatever the government does is their problem. But in my own opinion, she was born here in Estonia. If we remain here in Estonia, she's whether she has the passport of Estonia or she's invariably Estonia. Because that's what she just knows, for crying out loud. That's what she just knows. So, and you can't do that to children. You can't just do that to children. Like,
Well,
yeah.
I'm actually not even concerned about this when they're still children. I'm concerned about this when they grow old.
That's what I'm saying. If the world was a better, if the world was a good place, it wouldn't matter. You know, we wouldn't have issues where people are like discriminating just because of your wherever you have. At times I've posted on my social media and people comment like, "Go back to your country" or something like
Are
that.
you serious?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I've never experienced this
I've
before.
not experienced racism, that I've seen that where somebody comments like, "Go back to your country,"
Wow.
and I was not even saying anything about Estonia. I was just posting Estonia, pretty much just the beauty of Estonia. Not like I was even making comment like what Estonia should, because there are people that are foreigners, but they try to give ideas, criticize
The government.
Estonia. I'm not even doing that. I'm just like posting like my picture with maybe with some Estonian background and stuff like that. Someone still says go back to your country. So you're gonna have that. So people, you can't control that really. But if the world was a better place where people don't mind, it wouldn't matter, because people go to the moon now. They
But,
say
but
it's just one word.
but this is how the world will be. That's one of the beauties. That's one of the beauties of it.
I don't think so.
Do you think it will ever get better that everyone will say, "Oh, we are the same"? It will. I don't think it will happen.
It might. If you think it won't happen, it's also possible, but it also might happen. We can have a world where black, white, everybody, red,
We know
brown.
we can, but
That's what I'm saying. The prejudice was taught, was passed down, right? So we can unlearn all of these things too.
because
There are already interracial marriages.
of course, yes, this has been
So are
for
you
a
going
very
to say
long
the
time.
child? What are you now going to say the child is now? Are you going to say the child is Estonian or Nigerian with interracial marriages? Two cultures already. So what are you going to do? Except you are already giving that child an identity crisis already, just by the virtue of two people falling in love. So if you don't see that child as Estonian and as Nigerian at the same time, then it's going to be my problem, not the child's problem. The child can be. That's why it's also tricky. Like, to be honest, like that's how I see it. Because if the fact is there that this child is Estonian, it's like Nigerian. As a matter of fact, even if you are not even born like between two like interracial, even if you are like both parents are Nigerian, but they've never been to Nigeria, but they gave birth to you in Estonia, and for 20 years, 30 years of your life, you are blacker than charcoal, but you can only speak Estonian, and somebody will still say that you are not Estonian. That's the person's problem, really.
But yeah. So I was bringing this up. I was going to call like a call to action that we should try to pass down this culture. We should try to pass down this. We shouldn't just leave the country and let it end with us. Like the culture.
How did they define culture to us in social studies? They define it as a way, just a way of life.
Yes. So the way of life of Nigerians. This is how Nigerians live. This is how Nigerians interact. This is how Nigerians greet.
It's good. Definitely, we pass that down.
No, some people is lost already. That's what I'm saying.
I think I would do everything in my power
No, so
to pass it
so
down.
what should we now talk of people who, for example, as
That's now like inferiority complex. Maybe it's inferiority complex, maybe it's not inferiority complex, but why would you ultimately adopt a way of life that was not inherently what you knew? Because that would be the parents' problem right now, not the child's problem.
But if it's eventually going to affect the children.
It will,
So who causes the problem is not the question now.
yeah, okay. Who
The
caused
question is
not
that
the-
there's a problem. So we're not trying to play the blame game here.
yeah.
But is there a problem? Yes. How are we supposed to avoid it? To make sure that, for example, when
So, but what's the problem really?
okay,
If the child is
how do you-
Nigerian and doesn't know about Nigeria, what's really the problem? If he doesn't plan to go to Nigeria, even
most of them, most people, it's not. Let's not say we don't know if they plan to go to Nigeria or not. But
that point, then it becomes a problem when they want to go and then they cannot really.
maybe they want to go, but they can't go because they know they can't fit in.
But why? So that's what I was trying to say. They can't fit in Nigeria. Obvious. Even if you know the language, that does not mean that you can fit in
That's
Nigeria.
what I'm saying. Like the culture, the way of life.
But it's not possible to teach 3 cultures at the same time to somebody. You didn't just leave it. It's different thing it's a different thing to pass something down, to try to teach and try to understand. It's a different thing to live that culture. I was not buying flour, you know? It's like, you get my point.
Yeah.
So I probably not teach my daughter, if I'm trying to teach her to be Nigerian, like buying of flowers and stuff like that. But these are borrowed cultures that are really nice. That's probably just what she's gonna know. A guy brings her flowers, she's already over the moon. You know, that's what she's gonna know. In Nigeria, perhaps maybe you just give her money. You know. And so what I'm trying to say in essence is, I can teach you that, buy flour, buy this and stuff like that in Nigeria. Probably you're not going.
When you meet,
Probably you're not going to even see a shop where you're going to buy the flour.
yeah. What type? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you see an elderly person, how do you greet them?
Exactly.
These cultures sometimes they are lost. I tell you.
So, but
How will you feel now
yeah,
if a teenage
Nigerian
boy born by Nigerian parents, let me just say born by Nigerian parents, walks in now and tells you hello,
that's
hello Solagbade.
but that's what I'm trying to say.
How will you feel? No, to be honest, how will you
Because
feel?
I'm
Like you can see that this guy, you are not Ghanaian. I don't think the Ghanaians are like that. I don't think Ghanaians are like that. The reason why I said you are not Ghanaian is that, we are all black. So, but you know that this one is Yoruba, and I know the parents, they are from Oyo State.
Yeah.
You can tell that this one is Yoruba. And it comes in.
But the truth is, respect is a universal culture.
Yes, wait. I'm just saying, how will you feel when this person comes in and says that, hello, Solagbade, 14 years old?
So what I'm trying to say is now is like, that will not be like because that would not be because the dad did not teach the guy how to be Nigerian. Respect is not it's like it's universal culture. So I wouldn't expect a young boy, maybe when I'm 50, a young teenage boy walks in and just calls me by name. You know, even in the UK, you see this, you hear uncle, you see auntie. They do that a lot. They may not like prostrate, but they know that, oh, uncle, auntie is a way of showing respect. Or mister, you know, these are like ways of showing respect. So, but I wouldn't expect him to prostrate for me, you know. If he does, I mean, all well and good. You know, I'll be so over the moon. So yes, that there is that. But if he doesn't, as long as he's respectful, that's like, I wouldn't feel any way to, because it's not easy, not easy. If you want to like be married, you like marriage, the idea of marriage, then you're going to have compromise.
Either emotional
Violence, physical violence,
or verbal violence.
Yeah,
It's enough reason to walk away from any marriage.
I think so. You can be a walking dead with verbal violence. If you get a compliment, you can almost kiss the person because you never get this first. But you see a lot of people now. Today is product owner. Another day is scrum master they want to do. Now, cybersecurity is what they want to do. Oh, now it's software engineering. Now I want to do a prompt engineer. Time is going. Time. Before you know it, you are 40, you can't still code.